Hello, and welcome. Welcome back to Daily English Whisper. Take a breath. You don't need to prepare. You don't need to perform. My name is Alex, and I'm really glad you're here today. Today's episode is called Conversation Practice, Natural English Dialogues. And this episode has one clear purpose. It will help you feel more comfortable in real English conversations. Not scripted conversations. Not textbook dialogues. But natural, human exchanges. Many learners tell me the same thing. They say, I understand English, but conversations feel stressful. Or, I know what I want to say, but I don't say it fast enough. Or, when someone talks to me, my mind goes empty. If you feel this way, you are not alone. Conversation is not just about words. It's about timing. It's about listening. It's about reacting in the moment. And this is where many people feel stuck. There is a common myth about conversation. You need advanced English to speak naturally. That is not true. Natural conversation uses simple language, short sentences, clear reactions, small responses. Another myth is this: you must always know what to say next. Also not true. In real conversations, people pause. They hesitate. They change direction. That is normal. Here is the central idea of today's episode. Good conversation is not about perfect sentences. It's about familiar patterns. When you hear natural dialogues often, your brain learns what comes next. Not word by word, but feeling by feeling. Today, we will practice conversation in a calm way. You will listen to short, natural dialogues. You will repeat key lines. And you will feel how English conversations flow. We will use not-so-common situations. Small, real moments people don't always practice. This helps your brain stay awake and engaged. This is perfect for listening practice. Perfect for shadowing. And perfect if you want speaking to feel less heavy. Here, on Daily English Whisper, conversation is not a test. It's a safe space to practice. So wherever you are right now, sitting, walking, or resting, just stay with me. You don't need to speak perfectly today. You just need to listen and feel the rhythm. Let's begin together. Now let me ask you something very important. What actually makes a conversation feel natural? Many people think it's about using many words, or speaking fast, or sounding confident all the time. But natural conversation is much simpler. A conversation is a shared rhythm. One person speaks. The other responds. Sometimes with words. Sometimes with short reactions. Today, we will practice conversation using listening, shadowing, and gentle repetition. You will hear a short dialogue. First, you listen. Then, you repeat one line at a time. Not loudly. Not perfectly. Just clearly. This helps your brain learn how conversations move. Where they pause. Where they continue. You don't need to understand every word. You only need to catch the intention. Let's try a very small practice. Imagine someone says this. Listen. Hey, did you notice how quiet it got? Now I will say the response. Listen. Yeah, it feels different than before. Now repeat the response after me. Yeah, it feels different than before. Good. Notice something important. The response is not long. It's not special. But it fits the moment. Let's try another one. Listen to the first line. I wasn't expecting that delay. Now listen to the response. Me neither. It changed my plan a bit. Now repeat the response. Me neither. It changed my plan a bit. Very good. This is how natural conversation works. You don't explain everything. You react. Shadowing helps you feel this rhythm. You borrow the structure. You borrow the tone. If you feel unsure, that's okay. Conversation confidence grows slowly. It grows through exposure. In this episode, we will practice several everyday dialogues. They are simple. They are realistic. And they happen in moments people often forget to practice. Stay with me. Now let's move into the main conversation practice and explore how these dialogues work in real life. Why do conversations feel so difficult, even when you understand English? Many learners say things like this. I know the words, but I don't know when to use them. I understand the other person, but I freeze. I'm afraid of sounding strange. This happens because conversation is not memory. It's reaction. In real conversations, you don't have time to think about grammar. You don't build sentences slowly. You respond to a moment. That's why conversation basics are so important. In this episode, we will focus on simple conversational moves. Small responses people use every day. Not formal. Not dramatic. Just natural. We will practice things like reacting to surprise, responding to small problems, and keeping a conversation going without pressure. You don't need to speak a lot. You just need to stay connected. Think of conversation like tossing a ball. You don't throw it hard. You just keep it moving. And the good news is this. These patterns repeat everywhere. Once your brain learns them, they appear automatically. If this kind of calm conversation practice helps you, you can support the channel in a simple way. You can like the video and stay with me here on Daily English Whisper. It helps more learners find safe speaking practice like this. Now, let's begin with the first set of natural, everyday dialogues. These dialogues happen in small, quiet moments. Moments that are real, but not often taught. I will read both parts of the dialogue. First, just listen. Then, I will invite you to repeat one line. Dialogue 1. Person A says, I thought this place would be louder. Person B responds, yeah, it's calmer than I imagined. Now repeat the response after me. Yeah, it's calmer than I imagined. Good. Notice how the response is simple. It agrees, and it adds a small feeling. Let's try another dialogue. Person A says, "Did you already try fixing it?" Person B responds, "I looked at it, but I didn't touch anything." Now repeat the response. "I looked at it, but I didn't touch anything." Very nice. That response is honest. It doesn't over-explain. That's natural conversation. Let's continue. Person A says, "This morning felt different somehow." Person B responds, "I noticed that too, but I couldn't explain why." Now repeat. "I noticed that too, but I couldn't explain why." Good. These dialogues are about shared experience. You are not giving information. You are connecting. One more. Person A says, "I wasn't sure if I should bring it up." Person B responds, "I'm glad you did. I was thinking the same thing." Now repeat the response. "I'm glad you did. I was thinking the same thing." Excellent. When you practice dialogues like this, your brain learns how to respond without stress. You don't need clever words. You need familiar patterns. Take a slow breath. And let's continue into the next set of conversations. These dialogues happen when something is slightly inconvenient or unexpected. Very normal moments. Moments where people react, not explain. As before, listen first. Then repeat the response. Dialogue 1. Person A says, "I didn't think it would take this long." Person B responds, "Yeah, it's slower than usual today." Now repeat the response after me. "Yeah, it's slower than usual today." Good. That response doesn't complain too much. It simply shares the moment. Let's try another. Person A says, "I might have misunderstood what they meant." Person B responds, "That makes sense. It wasn't very clear." Now repeat. "That makes sense. It wasn't very clear." Very nice. Notice how this response supports the other person. Support is a big part of conversation. Next dialogue. Person A says, "I feel like something's missing, but I can't tell what." Person B responds, "I had the same feeling earlier." Now repeat. "I had the same feeling earlier." Good. That's a calm way to connect. No pressure. No solution needed. Let's continue. Person A says, "I almost left without checking." Person B responds, "Good thing you remembered in time." Now repeat. "Good thing you remembered in time." Excellent. And one more. Person A says, "I wasn't sure how to react at first." Person B responds, "Yeah, it caught me off guard too." Now repeat. "Yeah, it caught me off guard too." Very good. These responses help you stay in the conversation. You don't need long answers. You don't need perfect timing. You just respond naturally. Even short responses like these build speaking confidence. They show you are present. They keep the dialogue alive. Take a breath. We'll continue with more conversation patterns that feel real and easy to use. Let's continue gently. In this part, we practice conversations where people are thinking out loud. These moments happen often, but learners don't always practice them. As always, listen first. Then repeat the response with me. Dialogue 1. Person A says, "I'm still deciding if this is the right choice." Person B responds, "Yeah, it's the kind of thing you don't rush." Now repeat the response. "Yeah, it's the kind of thing you don't rush." Good. That response doesn't give advice. It respects the moment. That's very natural. Next dialogue. Person A says, "I keep going back and forth on this." Person B responds, "I get that. It's not an easy call." Now repeat. "I get that. It's not an easy call." Very nice. Notice how this response shows understanding. Understanding is more important than answers. Let's continue. Person A says, "I thought I was ready, but now I'm not so sure." Person B responds, "That happens more often than people admit." Now repeat. "That happens more often than people admit." Good. That response normalizes the feeling. It makes the conversation feel safe. Another one. Person A says, "I don't want to overthink it, but here I am." Person B responds, "Yeah, that sounds familiar." Now repeat. "Yeah, that sounds familiar." Excellent. And one more. Person A says, "I needed a moment before saying anything." Person B responds, "That's understandable. Some things take time." Now repeat. "That's understandable. Some things take time." Very good. These kinds of responses help you stay connected without pressure. You don't fix the situation. You don't rush the other person. You simply stay present. This is a big part of natural conversation. And you are practicing it right now. If one of these responses feels especially useful, you can leave a comment and tell me which one you liked. And stay with me, because the next part will help you keep conversations moving naturally. Let's continue calmly. In this part, we practice conversations that help you keep things moving when there is a pause. These are very important in real life. Silence happens in conversations. And that's okay. You don't need to panic. Sometimes you just need a small bridge sentence. As always, listen first. Then repeat the response with me. Dialogue 1. Person A says, "So, what do you think so far?" Person B responds, "I'm still forming an opinion, honestly." Now repeat the response. "I'm still forming an opinion, honestly." Good. That response is natural. It buys time. And it feels real. Next dialogue. Person A says, "It's hard to explain what I mean." Person B responds, "Take your time. I'm following you." Now repeat. Take your time. I'm following you. Very nice. That sentence helps the other person relax. And relaxed people speak better. Let's continue. Person A says, I'm not sure how to continue. Person B responds, maybe start with what feels most important. Now repeat. Maybe start with what feels most important. Good. That response gently guides the conversation forward. Another one. Person A says, I feel like we're missing something. Person B responds, we can come back to it if it helps. Now repeat. We can come back to it if it helps. Excellent. And one more. Person A says, I don't have much to add right now. Person B responds, that's okay. We can pause for a second. Now repeat. That's okay. We can pause for a second. Very good. These responses give you confidence in quiet moments. You don't rush. You don't force words. You simply stay present. And that is what makes conversations feel natural. Let's continue calmly into the next set of conversations. In this part, we practice dialogues where people are sharing small reactions or personal boundaries. These moments are very common, but they are not always taught. As always, listen first. Then repeat the response with me. Dialogue 1. Person A says, I might need a little more time with this. Person B responds, that's fine. There's no rush. Now repeat the response. That's fine. There's no rush. Good. That response removes pressure. Pressure is the enemy of conversation. Next dialogue. Person A says, I'm not completely comfortable with that yet. Person B responds, I appreciate you saying that. Now repeat. I appreciate you saying that. Very nice. That sentence is short, but very natural. It shows respect. Let's continue. Person A says, I don't have a strong opinion either way. Person B responds, that makes it easier to talk it through. Now repeat. That makes it easier to talk it through. Good. This response keeps the conversation open. Another dialogue. Person A says, I wasn't planning on staying long. Person B responds, no worries. Do what feels right. Now repeat. No worries. Do what feels right. Excellent. And one more. Person A says, I need to step away for a moment. Person B responds, of course. I'll be right here. Now repeat. Of course. I'll be right here. Very good. These conversations help you sound calm and confident. You are not explaining yourself too much. You are simply communicating clearly. This is a big part of natural English. And you are practicing it right now. Take a breath. Let's move gently into the final part and close this conversation practice together. Today, you practiced something very important. Not advanced grammar. Not long speeches. But real conversation basics. You listened to natural dialogues. You repeated simple responses. You felt how English conversations move, pause, and continue. That is the secret many people miss. Conversation is not about sounding impressive. It's about staying connected. If there is one idea I want you to keep from today's episode, it is this. Natural conversation is built from small, familiar responses. You don't need to say a lot. You don't need perfect timing. You just need sentences that feel ready. The next time someone speaks to you in English, you might not remember everything. And that's okay. But one simple response may appear. A calm reaction. A short sentence that fits the moment. That is progress. Conversation confidence grows quietly. It grows every time you listen. Every time you repeat. Every time you allow yourself to stay in the moment. You are not bad at speaking. You are simply learning the rhythm. And rhythm comes with exposure. If this conversation practice helped you feel more relaxed with English, I invite you to continue with us. You can subscribe to Daily English Whisper and keep building confidence, one calm episode at a time. My name is Alex, and I want you to hear this before we finish. I'm proud of you for practicing. I'm proud of you for staying with the conversation. And I truly believe in your English. Take care of yourself. Keep listening. Keep speaking, gently. And I'll be here with you again very soon.